Good day, grade 11 students. Today, I'll be tackling to you our lesson 2, which is Sociology. But before we proceed with our lesson, let's have some review with the past lesson, which is Anthropology. Anthropology comes from the Greek word or Greek term anthropos, meaning man, and logos, meaning science or study of. So anthropology is the science or study of man. And there are 4 major fields of anthropology, namely biological, cultural, linguistics, and archaeology. We have here a trivia that I missed to give last meeting. We have here the father of modern anthropology, and he is Franz Boas, a German-American scientist and widely considered to be one of the greatest and most influential anthropologists ever. He was the first person to implement the scientific method in the study of human cultures and societies. And he's also the proponent of the 4 major fields of anthropology. He advocated that 4 fields of research should all unite to provide a complete picture of anthropological research. Today's topic is all about sociology. Let's first define what sociology is. Sociology is the study of human social relationships and institutions. Sociology's subject matter is diverse, ranging from crime to religion, from the family to the state, from the divisions of race and social class to the shared beliefs of a common culture, and from social stability to radical change in whole societies. Unifying the study of these diverse subjects of study is sociology's purpose of understanding how human action and consciousness both shape and are shaped by surrounding cultural and social structures. It is also the study of human behavior in a scientific, systematic manner. The way how we look at our society is actually considered the study of sociology, because in our society, human act naturally or differently. So in studying human behavior, we will be using a systematic manner, which is the way how sociology is being studied. Also, it is the study of the society. Who is in that society? We, humans. And thus, the human race is the focus of studying sociology. There is what we so-called social differences, and it is the differences among the individuals on the basis of social characteristics and qualities. Social differences are the complex differences, and they include class, race, culture, age, ability, sex, and etc. Social differences can create discrimination among the individuals on the basis of their social characteristics. For example, if in a society, individuals with high status are given more respect and importance as compared to the poor or homeless, then it is a social difference. Social differences can create a lot of problems in a society because discrimination always results in inequality, inferiority complex, and other social problems. As you can observe in our society, if we will differentiate individuals according to class, race, and other factors in differentiating one person from another person, it will create chaos and promote inequality as a whole. According to Joseph Fichter, sociology is the scientific study of patterned, shared human behavior, and it analyzes human interaction, which is essential in understanding man's cultural makeup. It may focus its attention on all kinds of social interaction. I am referring with these 5 social interactions here. These are social arts, social relationship, social organization, social structures, and social processes. The social relationship will provide sociological information that will help in understanding society objectively through the use of scientific investigation or methodology. The outcomes of sociological investigations are essential for leaders, businessmen, or entrepreneurships, and government officials in maintaining social stability and creation of programs as well as policies for development, for example, in political, economic, and social aspect of the society. The study of sociology broadens the experience of individuals as they learn to discard prejudices and become more understanding of the customs of other people and realize that truth is relative and good or bad behavior depends upon the norms of conduct of the society in which behavior takes place. Sociology is the systematic study of social behavior and human groups. It focuses primarily on the influence of social relationships upon people's attitude and behavior and on how societies are established and change. Hence, social institutions are the major spheres of social life or societal subsystems organized to meet human needs. Social stratification is a system by which a society ranks categories of people in hierarchy. The three commonly recognized systems of stratification are state, the caste, and the class. As such, sociology in this context is a science which attempts the interpretative understanding of social action in order to arrive at a causal explanation of its causes and effects. Sociology studies the functioning of a society, focusing on its development and structure. What is the purpose of sociology? Sociology is a vast area of study with hundreds of officially recognized subfields which examine human thoughts, actions, structures, and systems. Virtually, every type and purpose of human thought and activity and action is studied in one field of sociology or another. Human action and thought are on one side of the equation. The cultural and social structures that people have around them are on the other side of the equation. Sociology's purpose is to understand how the cultural and social structures shape human action and thought, and conversely, how human action and thought shape cultural and social structures. The purpose of sociology is to study at all levels of human thoughts and activity, from the individual and personal level to the global level. Human thought about race, romance, friend, family, or foe is studied at the interpersonal level, where the surrounding social structure, family structure, community, and legal system shape their beliefs and attitude, and eventually determine what is and is not allowed under the law. Furthermore, sociology can be to study in order to classify, quantify, identify, and perform functions that are very anthropological in their construct in observing societies in the whole. Finally, the ultimate purpose of sociology is to formulate a discipline of thought and methodology that leads to objective, comprehensive, effective, honest, and critical thinking when observing and describing human thought, interaction, systems, structures, and action. Sociology can be used at least three major purposes. Number one, as intellectual exercise pursued for its own sake, for the pleasure of tickling our curiosity, or for producing scientific knowledge. Number two, as a general guide for understanding our lives. And number three, can be used to pursue a scientific career in the government or in the private sector. Dynamics of culture in the goals of anthropology and sociology. Culture is dynamic and thus complex. Culture is fluid rather than static, which means that culture changes all the time, every day, in subtle and tangible ways. Because humans communicate and express their cultural systems in a variety of ways, it can be hard to pinpoint exactly what cultural dynamics are at play. Anthropology is the study of humans and ways they live. Sociology studies the ways groups of people interact with each other and how their behavior is influenced by social structures. The categories, for example, race, gender, sexuality, and institution. While both fields study human behavior, the debate between anthropology versus sociology is a matter of perspectives. Anthropology examines culture more at the micro level of the individual, which the anthropologist generally takes as an example of the larger culture. In addition, anthropology hones in on the cultural specificities of a given group or a community. Sociology, on the other hand, tends to look at the bigger picture often studying institutions, example, educational, political, or religious, organizations, the political movements, and the power relations of different groups with each other. I'll be introducing to you the pioneers of sociology. The first person is Auguste Comte. He is a French philosopher, a physician, introduced the positivism theory, and the father of sociology. He worked during French Revolution and Napoleon Bonaparte rule. He is the responsible for coining the term sociology, and that's why he is considered as the father of sociology. He set out to develop the science of man that would be based on empirical or because of the data or evidence that is called positivism. So in studying human, he introduced this what we so-called positivism, wherein the data or evidence or the observation is based on empirical or based on data or evidence. He also focused on two aspects of society. The first one is social statics, forces which produce order and stability. And the second one is social dynamics, the forces which contribute to social change. The next one is Harriet Martineau. She is considered the first female sociologist. She also wrote the first book on sociological methods. She studied social class distinctions, the gender, and race. She also wrote about the link between slavery and the oppression of women. The next pioneer is Herbert Spencer. He lived in England. He disagreed with Comte that sociology should guide reform, and he is the proponent of the term survival of the fittest. Societies are evolutionary. It evolved from lower to higher forms. With the following example or with the following forms, civilians or the higher forms and the barbarians or the lower forms. So over time, societies improve and become advanced. Social reform interferes with natural process or selection, and that's why if you cannot survive, according to him, you will not live any longer. He is also a social philosopher, did not conduct scientific studies, but prove or only develop ideas about society. The next one is Karl Marx. Marx's class theory rests on the premise that the history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. According to this view, ever since human society emerged from its primitive and relatively undifferentiated state, it has remained fundamentally divided between classes who clash in the pursuit of class interest. The same thing he is coined with the term Marxism. History is defined by class, according to him, or he defined the economic system by region. The concentration of wealth, according to him, is an unfair advantage that comes with power and domination of those who do not have wealth. Ultimately, there needs to be a distribution of capital or wealth, which can lead to diffusion of social power. Karl Marx's theory is social classes. The next one is Emile Durkheim. He modified positivism. It's an instrumental in the acceptance of sociology as an academic discipline, and he is the proponent of this what we so-called structural functionalism. He believed that an individual functions well accordingly with the structure of the organization. He also wrote a book entitled The Division of Labor in Society, Suicide, the Elementary Forms of Religious Life. Next one is Max Weber. Max Weber believed that it was social actions that should be the focus of study in sociology. To him, a social action was an action carried out by an individual to which an individual attached a meaning. Therefore, an action that a person does not think about cannot be a social action. Lastly, C. Wright Mills. He advocated a conflict perspective like Marx, but did not see a happy ending for the society. He coined the term sociological imagination, the idea that seemingly personal troubles are linked to social trends. He also believed that a power elite, comprised of military, political, and economic elites, ruled in the nation. For the summary of our lesson, sociology is the study of patterned, shared human behavior. It focuses on all kinds of social interactions, the social arts, social relationship, social organization, social structures, and social processes. The differences among the individuals on the basis of social characteristics and qualities are known as social differences. The purpose of sociology is to study at all levels of human thought and activity from individual and personal level to the global level. Its ultimate purpose is to formulate a discipline of thought and methodology that leads to objective, comprehensive, effective, honest, and critical thinking when observing and describing human thought, interaction, systems, structures, and action. Social stratification is a system by which a society ranks categories of people in hierarchy. The three commonly recognized systems of stratification are state, caste, and class. Anthropology examines culture more at a micro level of the individual, which the anthropologist generally takes as an example of the larger culture, while sociology, on the other hand, tends to look at the bigger picture, often studying institutions. The father of modern sociology is Auguste Comte. He coined the term positivism, which means man should be studied in an empirical manner, or with evidence. Other pioneers of sociology were Harriet Martineau, the first female sociologist, Herbert Spencer, who coined the survival of the fittest, Karl Marx, that society is based on the classes, Emile Durkheim, he coined the structural functionalism, Max Weber, he coined the social action and social change, and C. Wright Mills, who is responsible for the term sociological imagination. For the activity for this lesson, which is the activity number 2, biographical essay, you need to write a biographical essay on the most important people and events that shaped your lives. Why do you think these people and events are important in what you have become now? If you could rewrite your biography and reinvent your life, will you still want these people and events to shape who you are right now? Explain it. The space in page 14 and 15 in your module is intended for your answer for this activity. The same true with our LMS. Please be guided with the following criteria: the quality of content and the depth of discussion. Overall score for the activity is 40 points. Your work will be considered excellent, very good, and good. I will not discuss everything with this criteria because it's already in your module and it's also posted in our LMS. For our biblical integration, let's watch the video clip entitled "The Christian Worldview of Sociology, a Preview." For your personal reflection, what makes some societies thrive and others suffer? What can one Christian man or woman do to make a difference? What is now the backbone of society and how important is the home and church? What is more important to God, the individual or the nation? To what extent is the church responsible for the society? See the video as a whole with the Thinking Like a Christian video series. So here's now the video clip.
Tonight's topic, as you can see, is sociology. What's sociology? Sociology is really a study of social order. It's what makes society tick. Why do some societies thrive and others fail? The family and the church and the state, according to Christianity, are the three fundamental structures of society. So we look at the family. The fundamental concept is the condition of marriage and family in any given society describes the condition of that society. I was a young teenager in the 60s. I experienced what it was like in the 60s when the main television programs were Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver, where it was the traditional husband who was the breadwinner. He was working hard. He was an honorable man. The wife was there at home raising the kids, and they taught values all the time. And so the society was chugging along great until the sexual revolution of my generation in the 60s, and that just caused us to plummet. If the family is troubled, so is society. So if we want to affect the world around us, we need to first put our focus on our family. If we don't get it right in our family, how can we help the social society around us? Amen? Now, in regard to the church, one of the principal roles of the church is defined in the Bible. It's obviously to proclaim sin and salvation. Not just salvation alone, but sin as well. In order to receive salvation, we need to know what we're being saved from. So it's very important that we understand that we are sinful. And according to God, we could never measure up. So it's vastly important that the church teaches sin and salvation, because if society doesn't repent of its sin, it will be judged. God judges nations. So therefore, the church, we are society's conscience. The state is charged with justice issues. That's their primary responsibility, to enforce justice. And that means maintaining law and order. And for its own good, it is supposed to be protecting the individuals and the families, to promote strong families for its own good. Because as we said, if the family breaks down, so does the society.
I will repeat for your personal reflection. What makes some societies thrive and others suffer? What can one Christian man or woman do to make a difference? What is the backbone of society and how important is the home and church? What is more important to God, the individual or the nation? To what extent is the church responsible for the society? See the videos as a whole with the Thinking Like a Christian video series. Thank you for listening and God bless. See you in our next lesson.